Every city needs water. People drink it. They cook with it. They clean with it. They depend on it every day. In modern cities, water arrives quietly. It comes through pipes. It flows when a handle is turned. Most people never see where it comes from. For most of history, this was not the case. Before modern plumbing, water had to be collected, transported, stored, and protected using visible systems and regular routines. It did not arrive automatically. It required constant effort. In this video, we'll look at how cities got water before plumbing existed and how this ordinary system supported daily urban life. Water is not optional. A city without water cannot function for long. Even small shortages caused problems. Illness increased. Fires spread more easily. Daily work slowed. As cities grew larger, supplying enough water became a permanent concern. The solution was never a single system. Instead, cities relied on layered sources and routines. Most cities formed near water. Rivers, springs, and lakes provided the first supply. These sources were reliable, but not always clean. They changed with seasons. They flooded. They dried up. Cities had to adapt to these limits. Distance mattered. Elevation mattered. Access mattered. One of the most common solutions was the well. Wells were dug down to groundwater. They were lined with stone or wood to prevent collapse. Some wells served individual households. Others were shared by entire neighborhoods. Public wells were common in dense areas. Water had to be lifted by hand. Buckets were lowered and raised repeatedly. This was slow work, done many times a day. Wells required maintenance. Covers reduced contamination. Walls were repaired. Debris was removed. Despite this, wells were vulnerable. Nearby waste pits leaked. Surface runoff entered shafts. People noticed patterns. Some wells were avoided, others were prized. Cities sometimes regulated where wells could be dug. Natural springs were valuable. When a spring was located near a city, it was often protected and enclosed. Stone basins collected the water. Channels directed overflow away. Public fountains developed from these systems. They served as collection points, not decoration. People arrived with containers. They waited. They filled them. They left. Not everyone lived near a water source. In many cities, water was delivered. This work was done by water carriers. They filled barrels or jars at wells, springs, or rivers. Then they transported the water through the city. Some carried loads by hand. Others used carts or animals. The work was repetitive and physically demanding. A typical day followed a pattern. Early morning was busiest. Households needed water for cooking and cleaning. Containers were filled and stacked. Trips were repeated. Water was heavy. Efficiency mattered. Spills were common. Shortages caused disputes. This routine never fully stopped. Some cities invested in larger systems. Aqueducts carried water from distant sources. They relied on gravity, not pressure. Channels were carefully graded. Stone, clay, or brick linings reduced leakage. Maintenance was constant. Debris had to be cleared. Walls repaired. Flow monitored. These systems were impressive but fragile. Water had to be stored. Cisterns collected rainwater from roofs. Reservoirs held water from aqueducts or springs. Stored water balanced supply and demand. During droughts, storage mattered. During sieges, it was critical. Cities tracked capacity carefully. Clean water was not guaranteed. Sediment was common. Taste varied. Boiling helped, but was not universal. People learned which sources were safer. Rules emerged. Animals were restricted. Washing was limited near collection points. These measures reduced risk but did not eliminate it. Water supply changed with the year. Rain filled cisterns. Drought emptied them. Winter froze access points. Floods contaminated sources. Cities adjusted routines. Extra carriers were hired. Rations were imposed. The system bent with the seasons. Water work was constant. Women, servants, and laborers carried much of the burden. In some cities, water carriers formed guilds. Prices were regulated. Disputes were common. Despite this, the work continued. As populations increased, old systems struggled. Wells ran dry. Sources became polluted. Distances increased. Complaints rose. Cities experimented with pipes, pumps, and new storage. Change came slowly. Early plumbing served public spaces first. Fountains, baths, institutions. Private connections followed much later. Older systems remained in use for decades. The transition was gradual, uneven, and expensive. Before modern plumbing, water supply was visible and manual. It relied on wells, carriers, storage, and routine labor. The system was imperfect, but it worked well enough to sustain cities. Modern plumbing replaced these routines. But for centuries, this was how cities survived. Through effort, repetition, and careful management of water.